You're inside the Power Hour. I'm your host, DJ Larry Jones, a.k.a. Mr. Important. If you don't know me, then you don't know anybody. And I have a special guest on the line from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, the lovely and very talented Moniece. Moniece, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I had to have you on. You just dropped 2 new singles, right?
I did. Queen of Diamonds featuring K Goddess and Petty.
I had a chance to listen to it, and they pretty dope.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're pretty dope. Now, first off, let me start by thanking you, for calling in once again. And, how's everything going in your life right now? How's little man doing? How's your son doing?
My son is great. My music is great. My house didn't burn down. I'm good.
Yeah, because you're dealing with those fires and stuff out there, right?
Yeah, in my neighborhood, so.
Yeah. So it's actually in your neighborhood, like right down there?
Yeah.
You can visually see it? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a lot.
Now, you've been pretty busy. You got the reality show going on, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Now you got your music going on. How do you find the time to balance your career and, and being a mom at the same time?
It's actually really hard. I don't really think you ever find a true balance. I think you just learn how to navigate through the chaos. And I seem to do pretty well at that. It was really tough in the beginning because I've been on the show for 5 seasons and I put music on hold. I just wasn't motivated. The show's not helpful. So I was discouraged for a while. So getting back into it was a really big adjustment for both my son and myself. But I figured it out, made it work, I got it done, and
you're doing
still able to be a mom, yeah.
Right. Now, how long have you been working on this project? Is it a full project you're working on, or are you just going to drop some singles?
I did a full small album, 7 songs, an intro, an interlude, and an outro. I worked on it 4 weeks, almost 4 weeks straight. I took a week off to go film the reunion in Atlanta and then drive down to Alabama and see my family. And then the day after I got back, I went back in the studio and finished.
Now, do you write your own songs? I take it you write your own songs.
I do write my own songs. On this EP, I worked with one other writer who actually featured on my song, I Do. His name is Water. I write my own ballads and I write my own storytelling songs, but I do outsource when it comes to, I actually wrote Queen of Diamonds on my own, and I was, with one other writer, I was pretty shocked.
Right.
He started out writing it and it was more like a rap and it was just too wordy for me. And, they took a smoke break and I just kept, playing with it and trying to figure it out. And once I found the pocket, it was all good and the words just kind of came naturally. But on this EP, I actually only wrote 2 songs, Queen of Diamonds and Without the Ring. Water came in fully prepared with my production team with pre-written songs, and some of them I did adjust, but this was the first project that I worked on that I actually didn't write all on my own. My first project, Slaughterhouse, the mixtape, and Slaughterhouse Volume 2, the second mixtape, which both were put out before the show, I wrote both of those entirely on my own. And my godbrother did all the production. So this is the first project that I've ever done in which I allowed someone else to write for me.
Now, what is your writing process like? How does that work for you? Do you get the track first, or do you write first and then they bring the track in? And how does that work for you? What is
so for me, I could be driving or at home, cleaning, cooking, whatever it is. And sometimes, I'll hear something and it'll give me a cute concept. But for the most part, I'm the type of artist who goes in the studio, and I don't really like tracks being sent to me. I prefer to be in the studio with the producer. I listen to a bunch of stuff, and whatever speaks to me is what I'll write to.
And you go with that, right?
I go with that.
Right.
So it's usually the track first, lyrics second, and sometimes I want things adjusted on the track. And I prefer to be present to make those adjustments versus having to send things back and forth. That drives me nuts. So I'm really old school with my recording process. I really am not a fan of having to send files and get your feature and get it back, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Like with K Goddess, she lives in New York, but I really liked her rapping style. I really liked her voice.
Yeah, she's pretty dope. How did you meet her? I mean, how did she end up on that song?
I actually have never met her.
Okay.
She ended up on a blog one day on the Shade Room, I believe. And I clicked on her profile and I saw that she was a rapper. I heard her stuff and I really liked it. And I followed her, and she followed me, and she started commenting on my stuff. So I slid in her DMs, and I was like, yo, I have this record. I like your stuff. Would you be interested in collaborating? She was like, yeah, send it to me. I sent it, and she texted me back before she did her verse, and she was like, I had no idea that you sang and that you sang this well. Like, this is crazy.
It's dope.
And within an hour, I had her verse back.
And then both of you, the voices together, it just matched the song perfect. So that was a good look right there.
Yeah, I really like her tone. It really blended. So I'm really happy with the final product.
Yeah. Now, being on the show, right? Being on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, does that seem to get in the way of you promoting your music on that show? Because it seems like everybody's coming for you on that show, and you don't get a chance to really promote your music on there. I mean, is that kind of hard?
It's been pretty hard because the show is called Love and Hip Hop. You would think that there would be more hip hop.
Exactly.
And music, and it's become this, known for being this soap opera based off of musical characters. And when I say characters, I don't mean that we're actors or we're actresses, because we're not. But we've all been in music, and people like to discredit me in particular because they like to say things like, no one knows who you are. And what I think people fail to realize is my dad is a 10-time Grammy Award-winning gospel singer and producer. And he's worked with everyone from gospel to secular.
Wow. What's your dad's name?
My dad sings with a group called Take Six. He's
oh, really?
Member.
I never knew that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know because I don't really talk about it.
Right.
His Grammys aren't my Grammys, and his accomplishments aren't my accomplishments.
Exactly. You want your own thing. You're doing your own thing.
I want my own thing. But because of my dad, I grew up in the business. And because I've always been around the who's of who's, I had opportunities that a lot of people have to, really struggle and work really hard to get. So the opportunities were given to me, and I didn't squander. Some of them I did, some of them I didn't. I have written hits. I've written for Akon. I've written for Marcus Houston. I've written for, I forgot her name, but she was some new artist on Universal. I sang the theme song for America's Next Top Model for about, I think I had that theme song for maybe the first 10 cycles.
I never knew that. I never knew that.
Right. So just because the world doesn't know me as a singer doesn't mean that the people that matter don't know me as a singer.
Yeah.
So in other words, the Grammy nominated and award-winning writers and producers and engineers and artists know who I am because of my dad. And those are the people that I want to know who I am, because those are the people that help me get projects.
Yeah,
that's who matters.
Right.
So as that translates to the show, being on the show, your musical, promotional looks come with bullshit. By the end of, the scene, no one remembers the song.
Yep.
So I think what worked for me this year was I refused to give music to the show. I kept it off the show. And that scene with Brooke and Rockstar ended up being a good thing for me because, I didn't say anything for a really long time. I didn't watch the episode. I only saw the clips online. And one day I just got irritated and with everybody online. And instead of bashing Brooke or bashing Rock, instead I found the track that they had sent to me the day of the scene. I didn't get that song until maybe I was sitting in hair and makeup already. So I got the song, and 3 hours later I was in a scene. So the song was written for a man in the key of a man,
right,
and the words weren't audible. There's a lot of auto-tune and reverb and delay.
Yeah.
So when I got in there and I sang the wrong words, it doesn't matter. I still sounded dope in my lower register. I say that to say that once I got irritated with everyone online, I found the email with the song in it, and I went on Instagram and I sang it an octave higher on top of Rockstar in my living room.
Wow.
And when I posted that, people were shocked. And when the response was positively overwhelming, that was what actually made me decide that I was going to get back in the studio and get my album done. And so that ended up working in my favor. And, so I've kept all the music off the show. We're done filming.
So when do you guys start filming again?
I won't be returning. At least I'm trying not to. So I don't know when they start filming again. I changed my phone number, so if producers need to reach me, they can email me. But My goal is not to return.
Well, yeah, I think it was a little too much drama. And, like I said, everybody always seemed to be coming for you. And, you got so much talent that you need you're welcome. You need to pursue that and do other things, No. But here's what I want to do before we go, because I know you're busy and I know you in the car and you're doing your thing. You have to have places to be. This is what I want to do. For people, for my listeners, who want to get to know you other than what they see on the show, you know what I mean? I want to ask you a few questions, and just so people can get to know who you are, Cool. Now, question number one. When you're not working, what do you do to relax and chill?
I am very much a homebody. I love the movies, and I love my couch.
I can dig it. Now, question number two. What is your guilty pleasure?
Sugar. I'm definitely addicted to sweets. What is it, like anything sweet? Ice cream, candy, I love candy. I'm not a big chocolate fan.
Right.
But I love candy, and I like cake.
All right. Now, do you watch any reality shows at all?
I used to be a heavy reality TV show watcher. From time to time, I'll check in on The Housewives. I love Cynthia Bailey. I love Nene.
Shout out to Cynthia Bailey, Nene.
Yeah, I love Candy. Candy was actually season 2, one of the only other well-established musical reality stars to support my music. She posted my video for my single To Riches. And recently she commented on one of my posts and, congratulated me on my decision to fully, pursue music full time. Yeah. So shout out to her.
Shout out to Candy. Now, last but not least, where's the best place someone can take you on a first date?
To dinner, because I love food. Right. I know I'm skinny, but I love to eat.
All right, there you have it. Moniece, I thank you so much for calling in. I know you're a busy woman, and I thank you for taking the time out to call into the Power Hour.
Thank you for having me.
All right, absolutely. Keep it locked in right here. That was Moniece from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. It's 99.1 FM.